Welcome to our Mission and Outreach podcast. I am Reverend Esteban Lievano.
I'm Reverend Jock Dunbar.
And we are ministers with Southside Uniting Church, a church serving Christ and the community here in Brisbane, Southside. And we are so excited. For the first time, we've decided to record ourselves to put on our brand new YouTube channel. Yay! Woo-hoo! So like and subscribe. Anyway, look, firstly and foremostly, we want to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the lands on which we gather here today, the Yorubul and Jagara peoples. We are here at our Uronga worship campus, and we acknowledge them, their elders, past, present, and emerging, and we continue to pray for God's ongoing work of reconciliation among all of his children. Now, one of the first things we want to do today is we want to congratulate Jock on his recent induction. You were inducted on Sunday. Was it painful?
No, it wasn't painful, and it wasn't the Hall of Fame either. So just in case you're wondering, not a Hall of Fame inductee. But did need to give a speech. So yeah, inducted just meaning welcomed or started officially in the role that I'm currently serving in. It's a bit weird, but that's just the way it turned out this particular time. So yeah, thank you very much. It was great. It was weird because there's only 10 people allowed in the space, and so that needed to be managed. No one else could be there, but I'm glad that my family could be there, my wife and kids, so they could be there. That was great. Unfortunately, you couldn't.
No.
And the rest of the team couldn't as well, apart from David. So
I was at home in my PJs.
Thanks for that. Thanks.
We were told we get to be home and stay home in our PJs, so I was being obedient. I changed I got up that morning, changed
out of your suit and
out of
tie,
my normal clothes, and then I changed back into my PJs because David said we could wait and be in our PJs.
That's right. You took your boots off and you put your Uggs on.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yes.
So it was. It's weird. It's not preferred to not have people there, but by having the live, like what it forced us to do is to do the live stream, and what that meant was that people across the whole country, like family members and friends who live in other places, they could watch it live, and it was great for them because they felt included and it was as if they were there. So they're like everyone else. So there was kind of like this, everyone's on like the equal footing. So it didn't matter where you lived, you all had the equal access in that regard. So it actually made them feel more connected, and it felt just as meaningful for me. So it was bizarre. I wasn't anticipating that, but I'm really glad about the outcome though. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, Deidre Palmer preached.
Yeah.
That was a significant moment for me as well, as she ordained me, and the connection that we've got going way back to our shared time in South Australia, and now our shared time here.
Yes.
And on that note, of course, we are in our shared office.
Yes.
So this is our shared office. You can't see, but over here we have a bunk bed for us for those times when we need to, bunker down and... Because we're brothers.
Right.
We have to share a room.
Yes. That's all we share. Oh no, we do share this lovely library as well. So Esteban's library. So
and we have another one over here which you can just about see.
That's right, and one over here too. So yeah.
And more importantly, the air conditioner.
Yes.
We definitely share the air conditioner.
Yes, which is not on at the moment because of noise and sound as well. So that's why we're going to make this quick. No, but it was, getting back to Deirdre, it was great to have Deirdre involved. She's been an influence in my life and ministry. So I was really happy that she could be involved. So Deirdre, if you're watching this, thank you. Watching, listening, thank you.
Like and subscribe.
Share.
I forgot about that. Oh no!
Share as well. That's right. So that was really fabulous.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
It really was. And congratulations once again, mate. I am so chuffed to be serving alongside you, and it's been made official in every which way. And of course, what's part of that official component is, of course, you're establishing now your new missions your missions team.
Yes.
You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah. So we've just got off the ground. We've been running for about 5 weeks, gathering together over Zoom. So shout out to Zoom. Our missional experiment group. So we call it MEG for short. It's probably not the best acronym, but it's a small group. There's 6 of us in total, and just starting out, it's a long process, a 12-month process that we're working towards, and working with a person who's based in Melbourne, Phil McCredden, and he's been a great coach for this process as well. So Phil, welcome and hello. If you're listening, watching, like, subscribe, and share.
This is going to be a thing, I sense.
That's what this episode's going to be called.
That's right. This is the like, share, and subscribe episode.
So just like we're starting out slow. What can you do when you're in lockdown? But we're coming out of that. So what we've been concentrating on so far has been team dynamics, team building, getting to know us, getting to know each other, learning about each other. Going over those core team principles of establishing trust, working through conflict. What do you need? What do each of us need in terms of our own personalities or our own preferences when it comes to learning and working together? So those are really important conversations that we've had, and then starting to work through, what is it? What's the reason, the purpose for which we're gathering together and been pulled together? So looking at things like, this might sound a bit boring, but like technical and adaptive change, those kinds of things. So anyway, we're getting together. And we're really bonding, and that's what I'm really excited about. And I was saying this to them the other day, that after I finish each time, we meet together, once a week. And but after each time we get together, my heart is just full. It's just so wonderful to have good conversation with one another about things that are close to our hearts and meaningful, and have to do also with the purpose for which we gather together. So it's just fabulous at the moment. Yeah, fabulous.
That's awesome. Yeah, well done. And well done pulling together a team of people who are, what are we calling them? The early adopters?
Yeah, well, yeah, in terms of the what do they call it? The innovation, I forget the actual name of it, but it's innovation, like the process of innovation. Yep. So the bell curve of the line, early adopters.
Mm-hmm. So well done in identifying those and finding them. Now, I'm not sure that you are aware of this, but we actually share a team member.
Yes.
You are aware.
Yes.
So one of our team members, you know who you are. We're not gonna out anyone at the moment. And they're a team member of both the outreach ministry team, so the OMT. And the MEG.
Yes.
So there you go. So that's interesting. So, and I love that because it speaks about the reality of why we're doing this together, why we share an office.
Yep.
So much of our ministry really is intertwined because that outreach space and ministry space is so connected. So this week I'm actually starting putting together a bit of a online publication for outreach. And in it I talked about the differences between new mission, pioneering, and outreach, because there's, I think, a lot of confusion out in the community. And I think Sandy Boyce, another proud South Australian,
Sandy,
put it best when she said that mission is when the church goes out into the community and says, please come in to the church, open the door, come into the church. She was talking about the deaconate work, and she was saying deaconate work or outreach is when the church goes out into the community and we open the door for the church to go outside and to leave the church building and go out into the community and do funky, fun, interesting things like Sage, Soccer Club, Men's Shed, Timor Children's Foundation, etc., etc., etc. So all of these different things that we as a community do out in the community. We are still the community of Jesus Christ at Yeronga, Tarragindi, Holland Park, Mount Gravatt, and Tarragindi. Did I say Tarragindi?
I haven't been keeping up, as you listen them off.
Yeronga, Holland Park, Mount Gravatt, Tarragindi.
There
we go.
Yeah, we made sure we got them.
We've got to get them all in there.
Yes.
Southside. As the community of Southside going out into the community, we don't stop being the community of Jesus Christ, but we do go out into the community to serve, adapt, and connect with the message and the living hope that we have in Christ. And so that's a big part, I think, of our reality as ministers serving together here in this space, that we have all of those areas of interconnectivity. So for the outreach space, we were only meeting once a month at the moment, but part of that is because half of our outreach team are the coordinators and leaders of these various different programs. So it's easy enough for me to touch base with them and go, hey, how's everything going? And then the rest of the team are people who have a passion and who want to see outreach flourish out of Southside, and for whom we're going to try to figure out, do we want to partner them up with one of the existing programs? Do we want to think about birthing something new? Do we want to be visioning and planning for the future? Do we want to develop resourcing? So it's all about that. And the idea for this publication came through those conversations with people who are part of the wider ministry going, well, actually, we don't really know what are the outreach activities that we have in the community. And of course, I would welcome submissions. So if you want to write something for that, I'd love it. That would be really great. And of course, those who are members of our community and want to join in and participate, please let me know. Please reach out.
Yeah, that's exciting.
It is.
So when does that come out? This week? Next week?
It's supposed to come out this week.
Oh, okay. That's all right. That's okay.
I'm waiting to hear back from publishers. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I've got some submissions that have gone out,
yes.
and I'm just waiting for them to come back.
Okay.
With, making sure that people are happy with what's going out there. But it'll come out on our website. It'll come out on Facebook. It's just in PDF format for the moment, so it's nice and easy for anyone to download it onto their devices or read it online. And we're not going to go for a print publication at this stage because of the cost and everything else. We really just want to get the information out there to as many people as possible. And then after that, if people are baying for it, yes, we must have something printed, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, sure. Is it something that people can print out, like for themselves? Like when they download it, they can print it out for themselves?
I wouldn't advise it because we are really trying to make something that's quite attractive and color and photos and everything else.
Okay.
So I wouldn't advise that they print it out. But having said that, there's no reason why we couldn't make a printable format that's a little bit less heavy on the printer ink.
Yeah, I'm thinking about people who maybe receive it, and then how do they pass it on to someone who doesn't have a digital access? Maybe they can print out a copy or something and
Sure.
pass it on to them if possible. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love this. I love it. We can just talk through it and figure it out, and it's one of the great things about the mission and outreach space. Yes, we have libraries full of books about mission and outreach. I was going to say, it's not like as if anyone's written the book on mission. I believe there's a book over there actually called The Mission of God. I can say it right there. But it's still a space that's full of lots of room for creativity and innovation.
Absolutely. Creative space, and thinking about like what do we need now?
Yes.
And what does this group need? So it's highly contextual, in that sense as well. So what's going to help this group of people in this time, in this place, in this particular way, about knowing, learning, receiving, but also getting involved and participating in the conversation, so they feel empowered in that conversation because they know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And information is key when it comes to the outreach space, because there's a lot of people out in the community who don't know about what church can do for them. So there's a lot of people who assume if I go to a church, then I've got to go and give my offering, have communion, sit there, sing some songs, and then go home. The church of the 21st century cannot be that. It has to be the kind of church that is saying, we are a space where the hurting in our community can come to get some succor. We are the space where the ones who are hungry can come to be fed, whether they're hungry for food, hungry for spiritual nourishment, or hungry for community connection.
Yeah.
We are a place that is culturally safe. Like, I cannot emphasize that enough. We need to have cultural safety for people who have experienced the Christian church and want to continue to have that experience of Christianity. But we also want to have cultural safety for people who are from different cultures and want to go to a space where they feel that they don't have to leave their cultural identity at the door. We want to be a space that is welcoming. You know, Jesus welcomed sinners of all stripes, and he ate with them and he shared with them. And this is one of the really challenging things about certainly your message on Sunday really spoke to that. And in our Bible study group on Monday nights, we spent quite a long time talking about breaking bread with the other and what an impact that really has. Did you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, well, I'm interested, like, which part of it. So just for those who don't know, on Sunday just gone, so which was at the 17th, I had my induction service, but in the morning we had our online service, and I'd pre-recorded the service for that, so I preached on change, and but in particular the reading from Acts chapter 10, where Peter, the apostle, goes to the house of the Roman centurion Cornelius, who's requested his presence. And when Peter's there outlining the gospel point by point, as he's speaking, the Holy Spirit falls on that household, and they all start speaking in other languages, like what had happened on the day of Pentecost. So it was a sign for Peter that, you know, the Spirit is here, and the Spirit welcomes and includes this group of people, the Gentiles, into the family of God equally, and as much as people who had up to that point identified as Jewish or been recognized within the Jewish family, only Jewish. So now, like, this significant boundary or border had been crossed by God. So that's what you were talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Exactly. And that point of intersection with our message at Southside Uniting Church, where we have these 4 amazing congregations of people, 5 if you count the historicity
Yes.
of Holland Park Central, of people who have connected with each other and with their local communities in many significant ways. But where we're saying to them, you know what? Society is moving on and society is changing. And now we are being challenged to break bread with the other in new and different ways.
Yeah.
Not to discredit the great work that has been done in the past, but acknowledging that as a stepping stone on the journey to where we want to get to. And also acknowledging the fact that we may not get there within our very own lifetime. We may not get to that place where we envision this church being this amazing space where the community feels free to come in and engage with, but we can work to that end. So even if we don't get there, we know that we're doing that work right now, believing that that's got somewhere to go. It's got a trajectory. It's got a goal.
I think that's a fabulous connection that you've made, because there's deep resonance there between that moment that happened in Peter's life and in the life of the church in Acts chapter 10, and what is happening now in terms of the opportunities of the church, but the way that society has changed in terms of that the cultural connections that are there, because there's obvious parallels between Jewish only, or I'm trying to think of what the technical word is for a person who's of non-Jewish background but was included. It wasn't God-fearer. I just can't think of what.
Proselyte?
It was a proselyte.
Yeah.
Let's run with that. Yeah. So that there was those, that was the gathered people there in Acts chapter 2. But here, when you have Gentile, just meaning basically other, non-Jew, like, you know, so there's clear cultural differences there, and Peter is, like, really challenged.
Yes.
Like, seriously challenged. What does this mean now for what I thought was basically a monocultural kind of society or group, and even like movement, faith movement, you know, if you want to put it. So yeah, I would love to continue that conversation, because it's here, like, in bringing it back to our time here and our place in Brisbane in Australia.
So I'm just going to get you to reach over. There's a little book with a lavender cover.
This one?
That one.
Ah.
So this is a book by a dear friend of ours,
yes,
both of ours,
yes,
Ruth Mary Bond. Shout out Ruth Mary.
Ruth Mary, hello again.
Yes. And it is just such a great book about exactly what we're talking about. So this is a book that we've got in our library. Of course, if you would like to have a read of that, I welcome it. So you can put that one back there. But that is an example of this book here, Turnaround Church. Talks exactly about what we're talking about, which is that the church cannot remain stagnant, cannot remain where it has always been. It must continue to be challenged. And by that, I don't mean, we need to sing the latest hip hop worship music from the States. What I mean is we need to find what is contextualized to our situation right here in Brisbane. So maybe skippy rap.
Maybe. I'm not familiar with that at all. Yeah. Okay.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a bit weird.
I thought you'd like that. I am a bit weird. And it's on video now for the world to see. Hi, Mom!
You saw it. Skippy rap. That's fabulous.
In other news, so I'd like to share with you all a little bit about our Mount Gravatt Solidarity Group and where that's going. We are putting some legs on it. We have our referrer, Mr. Stephen Seacombe, and he now has a contact number and email. And for those people in the Mount Gravatt area who are vulnerable and seeking assistance, I will put contact details in our comments down below so that you can find out how to get in touch with Stephen and he can begin referring you to appropriate services in our area. For those of you who aren't aware, the Mount Gravatt Solidarity Group is a group of churches working together with the Queensland Community Alliance as well as the Mount Gravatt Community Centre to assist vulnerable people during this time of COVID-19 crisis by finding ways that our volunteers can connect with you and help you out in different ways. And if you like the idea of volunteering and getting involved in that space, please send me an email on hello@ssuc.org.au, or you can contact Stephen Seacombe on the details down below.
Mate, the way that you said that just then, I just think, the people who are watching this or listening might think that you just read that from somewhere. But no, there's no teletext. There's no copy of a paper in front of him. That just came from you.
It did.
That was amazing.
It did. It just emerged.
Did you rehearse that or something? That was amazing.
You should have seen me in front of the mirror this morning. I was... No.
That was fabulous.
Thank you.
That was very professional.
Very well. We run a professional operation here at Southside, don't we?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, that is pretty much all the time that we have for today.
Yeah.
It's been a real pleasure sharing with you guys, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing us for a change instead of listening to our sultry voices coming through SoundCloud.
Let us know that you've enjoyed it by liking, subscribing, and sharing this with others.
Okay, I'm going to get you to do that from now on. I like that. I like the way you did that. And of course, we will still be posting on SoundCloud, and the player is still on our website, www.ssuc.org.au. So if you prefer to listen to us while you are doing the dishes, while you are washing the dog, or washing something else...
Hopefully not operating heavy machinery.
Well, no, because we're too funny. So you'll still be able to actually listen to us on SoundCloud as well as on YouTube. Thank you all so very much for joining us today. I've been Reverend Esteban Lievano.
And I've been Reverend Jock Dunbar again.
From Southside Uniting Church, and we look forward to talking to you again next time in our Mission and Outreach podcast.